Before we get started, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, like and share the video. It also helps to overcome some of the YouTube algorithm shadow banning my content. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Guys, we're out here on the range today, and I have brought with me my Glock 45. This gun has been on the channel some. It's made some appearances, but I've not done a dedicated video on it yet, and I thought that that's what I would do today. This basically is a Glock 19 and a Glock 17 in one single gun. It does have the Glock 19 length slide, as well as the full-sized Glock 17 grip. This is a gun that is not new. It has been out for a while, but this one is fairly new to me. I just recently got this back during Christmas. Love this gun. The only thing that I've done to it is upgraded the factory sights, and I have put the XS big dot sights on it. You can kind of see there in the picture. You guys know that I'm a fan of XS big dots. Great sight in my opinion. Check the links down below, and as well as use my code Boomstick to save off of their website. But guys, this is a gun that I wanted to get out to the range today just to show it to you, just to talk about it. And one of the advantages of this is, of course, that longer grip, and someone with bigger hands, you can see like me, it's easy to get a good grip on that gun. Now, I do have the backstrap addition to mine. This is something that I do for every one of my Glocks that has that capability. It seems to help when I go to get that gun out of the holster. I want to make sure that I have that high grip and that I do not interfere with that slide. I've never really had that problem before, but under stress, you never know. And there again, guys, it's just something to give yourself an advantage with, okay? And what I'm going to do today, just basically show you guys the gun, just have a little fun with it, do a little shooting, and just enjoy the afternoon. It's a little wet out here, but still, we're out here today having some fun shooting some guns. So let's get started. Guys, I'm just using some 115 grain ball, nothing special. And of course, we're just going to go out and shoot some steel, ring some steel, enjoy the day, enjoy the afternoon, put a few rounds down range, and have some fun. So here we go. What we're going to do now is I'm actually going to stage a malfunction in the gun. This gun functions flawlessly. I have no question about this gun, but at the same time, how does it do in an adverse situation? If something were to happen, if I was to get a bad round in there, how will this gun perform? What I'm going to do is actually I have a spent casing in the magazine, so you're going to see that when we just get to a click, and this is going to be a good exercise to make sure that that magazine is seated, ejecting a spent cartridge, a bad cartridge, and getting that gun back in the fight. So here we go. Load it up, the target, about 10 yards down range. Let's see how we do. Click, tap, get that spent casing in. All right, I have emptied that magazine. I am locked back. I'm going to let that magazine fall out. I'm going to come in with my fresh mag, seat it. No problem whatsoever, guys. This gun has functioned flawlessly every time. We're back inside now. It started raining on us out there, so we just decided to come back in here to show you the close-up. I've already cleaned this gun up. I still need to wipe it down just a bit. But the Glock 45, as I mentioned earlier, it is the shorter Glock 19 sized slide with the Glock 17 sized grip. It does use the 17 round magazines. Of course, there are some higher capacity magazines out there that you can get as well. As I mentioned earlier, I did replace the factory sights on mine with the XS Big Dots DXT2s. These are my favorite sight for a defensive firearm. Again, check the link down below. Use code Boomstick to save from their site. Okay, this gun is one that, as I'd mentioned, I had just recently required not long ago as of the time of this recording. I have shot it. I have put several rounds through it, and this gun is great. The trigger is typical Glock. Some people like Glock triggers, some people hate them. But just to show you, of course, this is a Gen 5. You do have that squishiness until you get to right here at the wall, and then you press through the wall and it clicks. And of course the reset is approximately right there. Okay, not bad at all. Of course, being the Gen 5, it does have the ambi slide lock, slide release. And again, guys, I need to wipe this down. I literally just cleaned it, just got to finish wiping it off, but wanted to go ahead and record a close-up for you guys. The gun is very reliable, typical Glock reliability. You guys are aware of that. You do have a little bit of a flared mag well here that helps with the reloads. Okay, you can see there that it works fine. It also has just a little bit of a cushion for someone that has larger hands. It kind of helps you to force you to get that grip up where it needs to be. Okay, you need to have that grip as high as you can underneath that trigger guard. And get as high as you can on the back strap without interfering with the action of that slide. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I do have the extended beaver tail on mine just because I like how those feel, and that added grip length works for me with my hands. It works very well for me. Of course, everyone is aware that Glock came out with the Glock 19X back a few years ago, and when that gun came out, they were trying to get the contract with the U.S. military. That contract ultimately went to SIG, and so Glock released the Glock 19X onto the civilian market. There were a lot of folks out there, especially those in law enforcement, that really wanted to get their hands on a black version of that gun, and there are some differences between this and the Glock 19X, which we're going to get into in a future video, other than just the color. But for the most part, Glock saw where the market was headed, and then they came out with the Glock 45, which again is that hybrid length between the Glock 19 and the Glock 17. You know, the 17 size grip with the 19 sized slide. But guys, typical Glock, a lot of fun, I love it. And just to show you a comparison, this is my Glock 19 Gen 4. You guys have seen this in countless videos. I have got thousands of rounds through it. I also have the XS big dots on this gun as well. And just to give you a size comparison between these two, you can see here that pretty much they are identical. Now of course, Gen 4 versus Gen 5, you do see that slight bevel difference on the front of the Glock 45. The length of course is the same, but where we get into a difference is the grip. You do see that longer grip on the Glock 45, that it does give you of course those couple of extra rounds. Does give you that longer grip. Now me personally, I don't have any issue gripping the Glock 19. As you can see here, my thumb with this, or my finger with my grip as high as I can get underneath the trigger guard. It is right at the bottom. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of the Glock 26, because I cannot get a good grip on it. But you can see there, for me, it does work well. I also have the beaver tail on it as well, just to give that extra thickness, just to give that extra support for me, just my personal preference. Now another thing about the Glock 19 versus the Glock 45, and guys, both of these are unloaded. I checked them before filming just to show you. The magazine from the Glock 45, of course it is typical a Glock 17 magazine. Works in the 19 as well. It does hang down a little bit, so that's one thing that I'm sure if you're familiar with Glock, that you're aware of. Okay, you know, it does hang down a bit, but no big deal. And as you are aware, the Glock 19 mag will not fit in the Glock 45. It just will not go in there and lock up. It's too short. Guys, that's just a quick overview of the Glock 45. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Also, guys, check out all of the links down below. As I mentioned earlier, subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the video. It kind of helps to overcome the YouTube algorithm, especially anything doing with firearms content. But guys, thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and we will see you next time.